Hey, Sunday Sunderland here with another Idaho Renaissance Fair Make Your Character Great video. Today, I'm going to talk about how to do a basic hair wrap if you don't have a hat. The first main step is putting your hair back in a bun. There's many different ways to do this. I'm just going to show you mine. It does not have to look the prettiest. A basic ponytail to get the majority of everything back, and you're going to want to put it in a level more towards the top of your head, because ultimately this is going to shape your head. There are companies that make shapers to help the overall finished product look more elegant. Today though, I'm just going to show you how I do it on a bare bones everyday note. I have my hair in a ponytail, and then I put, for volume, I use a sock bun. Sock buns are, if you've never seen one before, this is 2 pairs of socks, with cutting the toe off the sock, rolling it into a donut. It then simply just gets slipped over my already established ponytail. My cameraman Tyson is trying very hard to get everything. This next step looks pretty complicated, but ultimately, as every ballerina knows, it's going to be very basic. Tip your head forward and then push all the hair back over. It doesn't matter if the sock shows through, because ultimately it will be covered by a scarf. Take another hair tie and secure it. With all your leftover ends, depending on how long your hair is, I'm taking them, twisting them on themselves, which will ultimately can be tucked back into the hair tie, ultimately creating this look. The next step is your basic layer, the layer of scarf that's going to touch your hair. It's very important that this layer is 100% cotton, because cotton will create friction against your hair so the entire thing doesn't slip off. You can also use a velvet headband or a velvet skull cap to create that friction, but satin, pashmina, silk, polyester, none of these will create the friction necessary to keep a scarf on your head. Now, you can use a regular bandana. I happen to be using just a piece of cotton that I had in my fabric stash. It happens to have very strange pterodactyls on it that I'm told are from a children's show. These are details that are not important, but this is a real life experience. Covering all of my hair right at the hairline, I bring it back underneath the bun, flip it around, and wrap on top. You can sometimes I have to use a hairpin to tuck everything in. It'll be the only pin I use for the entire head wrap, but this one is long enough that the ends tuck into themselves. Now that I have my base, I can use my scarf. Now, when folding a scarf out of whatever material, you want the area covered when you put the scarf on your head to go from the tip of your hairline to the base of your neck. I'm starting with this one in half, and I'm going to be doing it largely by feel. Depending on a wrap, you could place it differently, but for today we're going to go straight center. Then gather everything, and I have a too long scarf, so pick it and create a pleat. So you can see the fold right here and it will shorten my scarf. Do that as necessary. And then do a simple overhand knot that will sit snugly at the base of your skull. You don't want to over tighten because that will cause a headache. But snug enough that it's not going to move against your cotton base layer. From now, there, it's very basic. Looking into a mirror, and I'm looking into the camera output on this laptop. I'm taking my scarf, stretching it out, and I'm arranging how it's going to sit over the top of my head. And I do this by hand pleating very roughly and making sure if there's any tag in the scarf and tucking it in. And then draw it over the top. So when you're drawing over the top, you want to make sure that so you're not just flopping it over. It needs a little bit of tension. And then I take my end and I'm literally going to tuck it into itself. Because you've made a pocket by wrapping it first. Then it's self-secured, it will stay. The other side, same thing. I'm looking at how I just wanted to arrange it and how it looks to me. Bring it over. Adjusting as needed, I feel needed. And tucking it. I give it a bit of a twist. Tuck it into itself. And then can minorly adjust to hide that. And then I have a seamless finished look. If I wanted to, from here, you can add effectively garnish. This is just an extra scarf. I can make it smaller and then lay it on top here. Tie it off and tuck it. I can give it a twist to add dimension. And here, I have a finished look right here. That has got 2 different wraps, very dynamic and self-contained. Also, very lightweight. For a colder environment, if you're going to be outside, I would suggest using like a pashmina scarf because they're very warm. Seeing as how it's spring falling into summer, these are just cotton, very loose weave. It's really dynamic. You can add headbands, you can add pins, any accessory like you would just a regular hairdo. You can all do that. Big dangly earrings, very popular. This is just another simple alternative to have your hair covered. I hope your history is as fun as ours. Have a good day.